Hello, everyone. Wow,
Hello.
So, thank you for being here. I've met a lot of you, and it's been a real pleasure. I just wanted to ask everybody one basic question, and I want you to be able to remember this moment, which I'm sure all of you do remember. Do you remember that time that you learned about blockchain?
Yeah.
Do you remember the feeling that you had and what it could give you?
Freedom.
Yes, freedom. So my next question is, do you have that today? Somewhat. Okay. So I have another question. Is there any token, project, or whatever blockchain implementation out there that can give you three things: privacy protection, regulatory cover, and tax-free living?
Nope, not yet.
And you name any token that gives you these freedoms today. Is there anything out there that can give you that? None. Has NFT given you that? No. Privacy coins, Bitcoin, has it given you that?
No.
None. So why are you here?
For OZ.Finance.
Why are you here? Why are you here in the first place? Are you here for an NFT project so that you can see it go up and it go down and go up? Do you enjoy the ride? I mean, do you really enjoy the ride of seeing the price go down, only to go back to exactly where it came from and then less? It's no fun, right? What we always do ask is, does the project actually change my life? So the question there is, have you seen any project that actually fundamentally changes the way you live? Is there anything out there? And I've always asked this question. The problem is, I haven't received this decent answer today. So, I was head of blockchain and crypto and digital assets for the largest digital bank in the Philippines for 4 years. Before the Philippine Central Bank knew about blockchain, the first discussion I had with them, they asked, what's that? Is it a scam? Right? And that's normal. Everybody actually approaches the technology in exactly the same way, right? Is it a scam? They're skeptical about it because why? We see exactly what's happening in the market today. Are you enjoying the bump in the dumps? Nobody's enjoying that. But everybody remembers that moment, and I'm sure you do. You remember the moment you heard about blockchain. Did it give you hope that you would receive freedom from regulation, and freedom from privacy infringement, and freedom from tax? None has given you that today. But you see, the truth is that exists already today. There are over 5,400 special economic zones around the world. These benefits are being given to large corporations. It's just that you and I have no access to it. You and I can't because we got to put out $10 million to get it. Does anybody here have $10 million to put out? None, right? Especially now, maybe last week I had it. Last month I had it, right? But now, because I wasn't smart enough to hold out to sell it, thinking I was going to be floating in money, I'm worth far less than I started with. And that's sad. That's not supposed to be the case, guys. It's not. So we've been working for 3 years, quietly, without having any discussions with going to the public, marketing in any way. There's no hype that's needed in this particular industry. What's needed is real use case. The question that we had is there a project that could give you these three freedoms? Privacy protection, regulatory cover, and tax-free living. The answer to that today is yes. Would you like to hear about that?
Yeah.
It's simple. And it turns out every economic zone in the entire planet is able to give you that. The only thing you need to do is shrink it. From a $10 million requirement, can we bring it down to $100,000? And can I get that $100,000 to be recognized as an investment? And by using that token, you are able to then increase its value to a point where everybody can access tax-free privacy protection and regulation covered living. It sounds difficult, but it took 3 years to achieve. So this is as simple as it gets, guys. You purchase the token, it's Dodo's token. It is recognized by the Philippine government. You can go to afab.gov.ph. Please open your phones, Have a look at that. It's a government website, afab.gov.ph. Scroll down. You'll see Oz there, and you'll see GDX, Global Trade X there. It is recognized by the government as an investment. When you purchase the token and you stake it, as simple as staking it, once it reaches $100,000 in value or $75,000 in value, you can receive residency in the Philippines without, and I stress this, without having to live there. Second, you get split up into 3 parts. You don't know it right now, but you're 3 human beings. You are. I can sue any of you right now here in the United States, and I can capture the latter 2. What are those 3 people that are inside you right now? You are a human being, you're an asset holder, and you are an income earner. The problem is, all 3 of that's in one person. One person. That means if I go after you as a human being, the latter 2 I can take. How many lawyers does the US have? The whole infrastructure is built to protect the latter 2. But let's face it, the lawyer is the one that gets the latter 2 at the end of the day. Someone sues you, you don't protect yourself. You're actually losing all of it to the lawyer at the end of the day. Legal fees take up the majority of it. So you already lost by the time someone goes after it. So the question there is it possible to give the latter 2 to something else? So it's as simple as this. You purchase a token, you stake the token. The token is recognized as an investment in the Philippines. You will receive within 60 days residency. Now that's considering you pass KYC requirements, but it meets the basic and most difficult requirement without having to live in the Philippines. The second thing that you receive, a single person corporation is set up under you. Okay? Now, normally you think about corporations as 4 or 5 people, right? In this case, no. That corporation under new regulation is you. That corporation has a bank account and a crypto wallet, which you can then transact your entire life through. So let me ask you this. If you now are split, where the latter 2 belongs to a single person corporation, which is now operating under the protection of the government of the Philippines, in a privacy protection regulation covered tax-free environment, what have you done? If I go after you here in the United States, can I get your assets? All you gotta do is say this. We'll go to the Philippines, see if you can get it there. They can't. You're basically Teflon. That's what you are. So, has it addressed those 3 things? Are you living a privacy protected life? Yes, but you see the cool thing about this is, I can disclose everything I'm making. You can say to the government, this is my income. Why? That structure has been in place for the past 25 years. You are doing nothing different. The only difference here is now it shrunk to your level. Let's face it, we're all after one thing here, freedom. If we're all after freedom, have we received it? If the answer to that is no, then let's look for the project that gives us exactly that. So here's one project where you purchase it, a single person corporation is set up under you. In 60 days, you get to live your entire life through that company. You buy your assets, you sell your assets. If you make profit, how much are you charged right now?
Too much. 30%. 30%.
Whatever that is, you enjoy it. Oh, I love this check I'm paying actually. It's not fun, is it?
New York City, #1.
Yeah, it's not fun, is it? No fun at all. The truth is, you're still paying for the service whether you like it or not. But in this case, you purchase it, you stake it, you receive that life. Privacy protection, regulatory cover, and tax-free living. Now, the project is not as simple as that. It gives you that at the onset. The goal here is to build a community and for the project to function as a sphere. What do I mean by that? We're a community. How many million was on the board a while ago? 80 plus million people, right? What are we talking about? We're all talking about different things. NFTs, we're talking about privacy coins. Who knows what's going to be next after DeFi or something like that, right? we're just going to ride the bandwagon, see it go up and all the way down, back down again. We've been through the drill, right? We've all been through the drill. But what is it exactly that we need at the end of the day? What is it that we represent? What do you represent? Do you represent what blockchain is about, or do you represent the up and the down, the hype? Do you enjoy participating in the hype? I don't enjoy participating in the hype. Do you? We need to be a sphere at the end of the day. What's that sphere? We bring three things on the table. And we discovered this in the project. What are those three? We are capital. $3 trillion. Nobody can say no to that one.
You have $3
Second,
trillion?
$3 trillion before, we'll get there. Okay, we'll get back. Does anyone have any doubt we're going to go past $3 trillion again?
No.
We know we're going to get there. We've been through this. We're credit. We offer credit. And we are a damn good community, right? The only difference is we're not speaking the same language. Nobody's talking about capital credit community in exchange for privacy protection, regulatory cover, and tax-free living. That's all we need to say to these governments at the end of the day. You know what? We found out that's what they understand. That's why Toto's token got recognized as an investment, which gives you those three freedoms today. Now, what's the next level to all of this? Right? The next level is, what does NFTs have to do with it? Right? NFT in its current form is art, or whatever other project could be. But NFT in this form is actually for real. The discussion right now is that we are building a metaverse layer on top of the Physiverse layer for a 170 square kilometer area in the Philippines, which you now are going to be able to say, this is my city, and actually means something.
That is awesome. We do want to make sure we get the rest of the panel in on this conversation,
So,
and
my
I
partners
have
here, come in.
questions.
I'll introduce Emile.
Okay.
He is our first
Here.
citizen of Oz.
A citizen of Oz?
Yes.
A citizen of Oz. Come on. How many of you want to say you're a citizen of Oz? Did that not just strike a chord? Seriously.
Yes.
Applause. I got goosebumps on that one.
And he's American.
And you are?
And Jason, he's part of our core team.
Okay, Jason.
Yes, yeah.
So I just want to recap for just 1 second. Make sure you all got this, okay? So number one, we've all heard of citizenship by investment. That's no big deal, right? But it's a little complicated. It takes a little time. But now, for $100,000, you end up with citizenship, tax protection, an entity with a bank account and a wallet to immediately transact your life protected. Does that sound like something that especially anybody with a really hot NFT project who's about to make a fuck ton of money should have probably put together like right now? Does that sound good?
Yes.
Incidentally, it's not, the 100,000 is not a fee.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying. It's not a fee, but conceptually, we understand if we wanted to do something like this, it would take about 6 months to 2 years and cost a fee and da-da-da-da-da. This is an investment that does it faster, better, more securely, and you own it.
Yes.
Did I get that right?
The token is your ownership.
Right.
It stays intact for 5 years.
Yep.
And this is the thing about this token. Everything we know, everything is based in scarcity, right? You cut the token in half, you cut supply in half, where does it go? Double in value? Somewhere there, I'm sure, and that's organic. So the issue there is what token, by its pure utility, will cut its supply. This one, when you purchase it, you receive those three freedoms. At its core, that's what blockchain is all about. By receiving those three freedoms, you cut its supply drastically, and it only takes 240 individuals to cut the supply in half.
Oh.
And how many millionaires are there in the world? 58 million, 5.4 million of which were added last year.
It's not
Whether you
even
like it or
enough
not, you're
for-
still paying for the service.
But it's not even enough for each one to have one
All
Bitcoin.
you need is just
How many
240 people,
How
cuts
many
it in
people
half.
how many people does that flatten out at, like asymptotically, that are allowed into the city?
How many people are allowed in the city?
Well, if you
How
do
many potential
240
citizens of Oz?
240, then 120, then 60, and then eventually it's less than a person. How many people can get in total?
Well, the total token supply is 8 quadrillion.
Oh, only 8 quadrillion?
Only 8 quadrillion.
Okay.
But that's not it. The real purpose there is, it's 8 quadrillion and you have 240 people, 480 blocks that are available in the market. So, regardless of what happens, if 480, right now it's only three blocks are the equivalent that's in open circulation. The rest of it's being sold in the market for its specific use only. Our objective here is to create absolute scarcity by its use, because we believe that the use is relevant and it's something that everybody wants to avail of. Who doesn't want privacy protection, regulatory carbon tax free?
We definitely need tax protection, but the privacy is the biggest piece, and that's what everybody understands. So do we have any questions from the audience? Yeah? Oh, we got an enthusiastic yell. Yeah, I got a question over here.
So,
I'm gonna hold it.
all right.
I'm sorry, I'm very careful with who gets to hold my stuff.
Okay, so question number one. What about the responsibility of citizens to actually pay for taxes for roads that we use? I mean,
We still pay those. Property taxes,
That's
sales
a valid
taxes.
question, sir.
What?
That's a great question.
Okay, so that's my
That's
first
great.
question. Okay.
Okay. We are not after absolutes here. Privacy, you need to disclose to receive certain benefits. Regulation, you need for peace and order, right? And tax, you still need to pay at the end of the day, just not excessive. And if I'm going to pay it, I got to know it goes back to me. That's at the end of the day. Does anyone mind paying? I don't mind as long as I see it's real benefit. The problem is when you see that it's not going back to you, right? After 5 years, your flat rate becomes 5%. That's it, 5%. Now, Treasury is in partnership with the government through an SPV, and it's done through a Swiss association that has a holding company that participates in government projects. That can be seen in our white paper. Our belief is that if you're going to have any token, it has to have real value behind it. Not something that is supported by hype, but something that's supported by that's of real value. That's the structure that we've set up in order to be able to acquire and own real asset. Now that's on another level. Either way, you still receive your single person corporation.
But also keep in mind,
And you pay taxes at the end. 5%, far better than what you
And that's
get.
how the Philippine government makes money on this?
The Philippine government, okay, special economic zones are not built for tax. They are built for employment that pays tax. So the assumption here and the hope is that you build a prosperous life where you can hire locals that do pay for local income tax. But the business itself is exempt. And the business is you.
So the very idea behind special economic zones today is that they are built around a very archaic concept. They bring in low-cost manufacturing jobs in order to employ a lot of people and then trap them in a cycle of poverty. What we are doing is that we partner with the special economic zones to actually connect them directly to the digital economy, the economy that all of us participate in and will be the future. So why do you want to be stuck with bringing in low-cost manufacturing jobs once the price of, you can't pay your people more, because once you do that, the factory leaves. We want to create an actual thriving digital economy, and that's what we're doing. We formed the SPV with the government, right, to use the funds that are generated from this to actually go into connecting them, providing you the digital infrastructure to connect to the digital economy.
All we did, guys, was we just added one ingredient to an existing model already that was inaccessible to everybody in this room. That one ingredient was just getting a specific token recognized as an investment. That's it. By doing so, all of the benefits that follow after that, specific what I just told you, is now accessible to anyone. You me.
But you made it accessible because it's now $100,000 for a token instead of 10 million.
Yes.
So now, those of us,
And incidentally, if let's say you purchase $10,000,
yes,
okay, and you have 240 people that participate or 1,000 people that participate, if that $10,000 goes up to 100,000, you stake it.
yeah,
That life's yours.
awesome.
So maybe the tokenomics wasn't well explained. You have 8 quadrillion tokens, but the individual price of the tokens don't matter, right? The price is 100,000 throughout. The individual price of the token will go up when there are more people demand it, right? It's a scarcity issue. So every time a resident comes in, circulating supply is cut down because it's all locked up, it's staked, and so circulating supply keeps back falling. And anyone who wants this lifestyle buys into a smaller and smaller circulating supply. Right, and when the circulating supply keeps falling, basically you can gain access to lifestyle if you just save your tokens. If you don't have 100,000 now, you have 10,000. You save the tokens, and when someone comes to you and say, "Are you willing to sell me those 10,000 tokens? The 10,000 worth of tokens for 200,000?" Now both of you can enjoy the lifestyle.
I like to say this. I'm the first Oz citizen, and I've always looked at the world as my playground. I'm sure everyone in this room does too, because you have online businesses, and we know that the digital world is rapidly changing. And when I thought about that, I was like, I am not geographically cemented into one area. I could live anywhere in the world. And when I heard about this project and I invested in this project, I realized, gosh, if I can go put my corporation, set the corporation inside of a specialized economic zone within the Philippines, which is one of the most beautiful countries in the world, and then I also get my banking set up, and I can have a residency visa where I can live in the Philippines for as long as I want, go in and out of the Philippines as often as I want, use it as my hub to travel around Southeast Asia. But yet, if I don't want to, I can live here in the United States or live anywhere in the world, but my corporation is there. And like he was mentioning earlier, instead of 3 different people inside of me, now we split it up, so I have asset protection, I have estate planning, I can build wealth, I can pass it on to my heirs, so it just was a no-brainer for me. And for as far as I'm concerned, everybody in this room should be doing this, and not because I'm working for the company. I'm not working for the company. I'm just up here.
You're a case
telling
study.
My point of view. But my point is this: is that you do not have to geographically stay where you are. Be smart and set up your corporation inside of a specialized economic zone, and then be able to reap the tax benefits. Because one of the things that I wanted to mention, this gentleman was talking about, the taxes. Your corporation, under the Philippine law, 0% tax for the first 5 years and a flat tax rate of 5% after that. But as U.S. citizens, any foreign income that you make worldwide, you have to pay taxes on that. However, because you own 100% of your corporation in that specialized economic zone, the foreign income that you receive, that you realize and take, that income is only taxed at 10 to 13%. Because it falls underneath the global intangible low-income tax law. And you can talk to your accountants about that, your attorneys. We've talked to multiple attorneys and accountants about this.
That's only for the income that you realize.
That's only the income you realize as a U.S. citizen. And what you do is live out of your corporation.
Live a corporate lifestyle. So when you talked about the bank account and the wallet, is that wallet a centralized wallet?
The wallet is a decentralized wallet.
It's decentralized? Or is it centralized? So you have a bank account and then you have a wallet, and can you easily flow fiat to token?
The wallet is currently under a regulated exchange licensed by the Philippine government.
Got it. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, just to add to all that, separate to the tax issues and the privacy issues and everything that's been really highlighted right now, I'm all about the sustainable development goals. And everything we can do to basically fuck up the system and to, encourage new change. So taking the check from these exchanges where we deal with a lot with these SDG products, putting it back into these communities, which is a DAO, is the progressive decentralization. because it has to be progressive. I'm a big DEX believer and a big DAO believer, but it has to be progressive. Now imagine, and we are talking to several other countries, you stake your tokens in the future, and then you can be a resident of all of those countries, getting rid of the sovereignty issue. That is the dream. That's what we're going for.
That's wonderful. I want to thank you guys. If you go to, what is the website? OZ.Finance, and they have a great website with lots of information. We are being given the wrap it up sign, so 30 seconds, final thoughts? 30 seconons, final
You're welcome
thoughts.
to approach us at any time. If you want to have a one-on-one discussion, we're available for the coming days. We're going to be here until the 27th. Looking forward to meeting you guys.
Awesome. Who wants to be a citizen of Oz? I love that idea. The Emerald City awaits. Oz.Finance. Go find your place in Oz.